Who lives down in deepest, darkest Africa? Who's the one who brought the jungle fame? We know who it was, don't we, my fellow agents? Welcome back. It is I, X7, your agent of animated awesome. And it is Monday, which means animated television series reviews. Today, of course, we are still going through Kimba. We have about 2 weeks left of that. But we are going to be talking about the episodes 41 through 45, which are pretty good. I mean, they really tried to make these episodes as safe for children, but failed probably worse than they ever could have imagined. I mean, I'm glad they did it anyway, because I'm happy to have been able to grow up watching this. These episodes were first broadcast in Japan from July 13th, 1966 to April 23rd, 1967. And in the United States in syndication, they say from February 26th to anywhere between August after that. Because they weren't ever broadcasted. Well, some of them probably saw it in the original order, and then Prince would get beat up and moved around. It really doesn't matter. They tried really hard, except for, though you can tell there are callbacks, especially in this episode, just some other ones. But before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And it really helps if you'll watch just a couple more minutes. Helps the algorithm. And I do get a kick out of seeing the episode on YouTube. All right, let's roll. Who's the king of animals in Africa? Kimba the White Lion is his name. So I did find some really cool extras that I'm going to be sharing here. But our first episode is Destroyers from the Desert, which is one that is not really for children. But I mean, it's a family show, right? The Japanese title is Wandering Death Gods, which is Sasurai no Shinigami. Well, Shinigami, as we know from Dr. Death from Kamen Rider. So the kids, Kimba and the kids, and Daniel and Bucky all go. Some of the kids want to go see the sunrise in the desert. So off they go. There it is. It's beautiful. And then all of a sudden a tornado, which would be a whirlwind or a dirt devil, as we called them out here, the little ones, shows up and blows sand all over everyone. Poor Daniel always gets the worst of it. And then we see some ominous shadows. Dun, dun, dun. Kimba goes out to talk to them, and we see these three. I'm assuming that's some kind of wildcat thing with sideburns and a monkey thing of some kind and a huge elephant. They all have really weird names, but Kimba challenge Kimba really, and they beat the stuffing out of them. They literally, the cheetah there really stomps a mud hole in him and walks him dry. And off they go to the desert, and they take over essentially because Kimba's wounded. Bucky and Dan will take him to some sulfur springs, so his wounds will heal. And he's not happy; he wants to go back and fight more. And they're like, "You got to heal." So at least these two are smarter than Kimba at this point in time. And they go back, and Kimba's just sitting there, and they go back, and the destroyers are, just creating havoc and eating all the food and terrorizing because these animals won't stick up for themselves. Yeah, they're big. Yeah, they're powerful, but death by 1,000 cuts is a thing. So, that's just how it goes in, a 25-minute show. Kitty shows up and goes and follows Polly to see the training that Polly's giving Kimba, and he's failing miserably. But fortunately, he lands. And then Daniel decides that the animals are going to leave. And they all just leave. Except for these three, Dot, Dash, and Dinky. And they're going to turn into food. Then they want to divide up Polly. I don't know. Maybe it's wrong for me to think it's really funny every time Polly opens his his mouth writes checks, his butt can't cash. But and then you can just hear the Ennio Morricone music playing. Well, that's not a very good one, but you know, the theme from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Just whistle it right now. And Kimba shows up, learns his new trick. He blinds everybody, the three destroyers. And I love this shot here. I just love this shot. See, blinding them, chomps on makes this rather hairy elephant fall over and thunk, but everyone cheers because the animals did come back to help him. So good for them. And off they go. And the cheetah cat dog thing says, "We'll be back." And the elephant says, "No, this is Kimba's kingdom. We won't be back." So good episode, dark episode, violent episode. And everyone's happy. Kimba's giving Kitty the look right there. Now this episode's a little more fun. It has a plethora of music in it, not this song.
When we get in trouble and we're in a fight, who's the one who just won't turn and run?
And it is Kimba. But so it's called The Balloon That Blows Up, which is, I think, is a great title. So three of them, Kimba, Dash, Dot, and Dinky again, get into a balloon and set it adrift accidentally, as we'll see. Let's get, while I'm reading here. Tim and Tab show up. We don't see we haven't seen anybody yet. So we're getting toward the end of the, like I said, 2 weeks of episodes left. But Kimba scares them away, and then they're still acting like young kids. And some of the models are a little more off, but not as much as they had been. Kimba's still acting like a kid, and they get into the gondola, or is that what it's called? I don't know. And then they accidentally set it off. The humans are annoyed because there's a reason. And now they're flying through the air and through a storm, and they're all whiny babies. Whiny babies. Pardon me. But Kimba wakes up and looks at the view, and it's beautiful. We get another rainbow coming up. And then they fly through the city. Now, how far are they going, and how will they ever know how to get back? Well, Kimba's been in civilization before. Uganda, apparently, at the equator. We don't actually know where Kimba's kingdom is. It's one of those amorphous places like Bengala or Tarzan's kingdom, or we just pick one. If one of those mythical kingdoms that is in Wakanda. It's there. You just don't know where it is. Dinky that is Dinky. I can't, Dash and Dot, I don't know which is which, but Dinky falls out, but then they crash into a hut. And this old man is nearly blind. He says he can't. He says he's nearsighted, but he's probably blind. But he's just picking up, so he doesn't know he's talking to animals. Yeah, they fix up the place. The gophers try to help, but some kind of help is the kind of help that helping's all about. Some kind of help is the kind of help we all can do without, and that was the gophers this time. But Kimba is writing a letter in some language for the old man's son to come back, who's been either conscripted into the army or he's volunteered, because might be a civil war. We're not exactly sure, but this is our fearless leader who wants to know what happened to the balloon because it's got a bomb in it that they're going to use on the other people. But they brought him food and they want to land, so they eat all the food, which doesn't work because they're still weighs the same. But Kimba figures it out. Oops. Fight scene. Kimba's dragging the balloon, which is on fire, and a bomb, and kablooey, which blows up everything. There's the old man's son. They give him the letter. He goes home. Everyone's happy. See, happy. All right, and now this is a good episode as well. See, there's a monster. All right, and what we've got here is, why'd you do that, you dumb thing? I may need you in a moment. So, the monster is called the Chimera by the dub, which I'm sure they meant to say. We're saying Chimera or Chimera, depending on how you say it or want to hear it. But Chimera, no. and it goes and raids a village. There's dogs, there's people shooting at it. Now, it kind of looks like a werewolf, but it's not. So Kimba's decided he's going to go investigate and is building a raft. I mean, think about that. But that's he got pinched by a crab who's helping him now, and then Cheetah comes along, and apparently his name in the Japanese dub is Bongo, which is better than Cheetah, but a Chimiset mother bear now. Well, anyway, I just ruined it. They're going to go check out the monster of the mountain, which the Japanese title is Enraged Chimiset Bear. What does it say about that? In East African folklore, the Nandi bear is, well, it's got a lot of names. Chimiset, anyway. But Kim wants to go alone, and Bongo says, "Hey, no, you're going with me." Kimba has to rescue him, and of course, there is a storm because there's storms in Africa every week, and apparently, there's piranha um, in Africa. They're called piranha fish, and they get out. Apparently, they didn't get a hold of them, the piranhas, and they find this mountain full of gems and a little bear. There's Teddy, the bear. Yes, Ted E. Bear. Oh, if Brock ever listens to this, he'd understand. He'd be the only one that got that. And they make friends, and there's Mama Bear, who does not get a name, but they're making friends and finding out what cactus are. Where the heck are they? Scaring each other, and then they decide that they've discovered honey and they can eat that. But they also, Mama Bear goes and hunts, and there's cow bones and what have you. And Kimba uses the word destroying animals when he means killing them and eating them for food. But once again, kids. So he's annoyed, and Bongo says, you can't judge them for the way they live because they don't live like you. But then a real monster shows up, which is a pretty cool looking animal of some kind. It's got webbed feet and these reverse gamma fangs. I don't know what they're. I mean, they would. I guess they could hold up their prey in there. And Mama Bear goes out, and there's a fight. Fortunately, it's Bongo goes out and attacks it. Kimba, okay, to come back to rescue his friends, and he fights. And we're reminded that there's piranha in the water. Kimba tricks the monster or the lizard into jumping over, who's just doing what he's doing naturally, and gets eaten by the fish. So apparently, Kimba doesn't have any problem in killing another living being if it's going to harm his friends. I mean, a little double standard there, Kimba. But everyone's happy. Kimba and Bongo are going to come back to teach Mama and Teddy how to farm. But I mean, okay. And it's snowing, and Kimba wants to. Bongo wants Kimba to ride him, but he falls off right away. Okay, there's that. Let's.
Kimba, 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 Kimba. Who lives down in deepest, darkest Africa? Who's the one who brought the jungle fame? Who's the king of animals in Africa? Kimba the White Lion is his name. When we get in trouble and we're in a fight, who's the one who just won't turn and run? Who believes in doing good and doing right? Kimba the White Lion is the one.
All right, our fourth episode today is A Friend Indeed, and it's pretty straightforward. That's the Rainbow Valley. It's also the Elephant's Graveyard. Roger wants to go talk to Kelly Funt to see if they can go, that the kids can go see it because they want it because it's pretty. Kelly just captures him. We don't see what happened, why or anything, but they come back and say, Kelly's got Roger. So and he says, okay, you guys got to swim in this mud pool for 10 days and 10 nights, and then I'll let you go, or I'll let Roger go, and you can go over to Rainbow Valley. So while they're doing it, and it's Dodie and I forget what the giraffe's name is, but I think that's a dot. We'll call it Dot, and Monkey and Kimba, Dot and Dash, and so they asked Kimba, about how he met Roger, and the flashback, diddly diddly diddly. So there's little baby Kimba. Look at the difference. And he just when he runs it, he thinks the city's a jungle because he's young and naive and dumb. Mr. Pompous shows up, Roger's alleged uncle, and he's lost his wallet or something's happened and he has no credit, so he's at a hotel, him and Roger, and they have to work it off because no one's wired them any money yet. But the bad guy, well, right now he's at the bank trying to see about a loan. The bad guys show up. The dog, the dachshund, talks to Kimba, and Kimba goes to help out. Roger beats him up. Mr. Pompous beats him up. Apparently, he gets some blood on him. The bank doesn't give him a reward or anything. And Kimba even bites the tire. Smart enough to bite the tire. And stop the bad guys from escaping. They crash. They get arrested. And Roger's all excited. He's art. Now we're adopting him. And they're like, "Oh, you've known Roger a long time." And it's like, "Yeah, we talked about this." Even though Roger didn't remember him when he first met him. Right? All right, I'm right. But they're still working because the bank didn't give them a reward for saving all that money, which is kind of, bankster like. And the owner of the hotel sells Kimba to the circus. Kimba thinks that it's Roger and Mr. Pompous that do it. Roger and his Uncle Pompous. I should, but he's wrong because Pompous is annoyed. Kimba escapes, terrorizes figures out how to work the microphone or the speaker, the speaker system to tell the animals he's going to let them out. He looks little. So, and off Uncle Pompous in his towel is trying to save Kimba, but he's mad at them because he thinks they're the ones that sold him to the zoo. I don't know. X always means danger is my middle name, baby. Yeah, that was a very bad Austin Powers because he sounds like he's from Australia, mate. But yes, if you see X, you know that danger is about. Right, Lilith? And Kimba's dumb enough to climb up on a pylon that's going to be destroyed. Roger climbs up to save him. It crumbles, but they're both safe somehow. Must have been like the pylons in the Peplum movies that they're made of styrofoam. It didn't hurt anybody. So they're all, and once again, he's like, "I'm going to save Roger." And the other ones are like, "Well, okay." But Giselle, I don't know what her name is, starts to drown, and Kimba and Dash or Dot or whichever one it is wants to go, just give up and quit. And Kimba's like, "I'm staying. You guys can do whatever you want." And they kind of shames him because we want to help Roger too. And in that morning, Kelly's like, "Okay, there you go. Roger's free." And there we have it. So this is kind of a two-part ish episode because the kids can go to Rainbow Valley and see that there they are, all down there. And now, such sweet sorrow. This is an action-packed episode. That last one was humorous. This one is kind of. We start out with seeing a horde of metal hippopotamus tanks. Once again, Lilith, your favorite animals here, favorite live animals. I mean, they're not packies, but they're hippos. The water horses are just barreling in. Turns out it's Tonga. She's trying to attack Kimba again because she's single-minded. But they're ready for him. Drop some trees on him, which scares them off, and then they come. Roger says that they're going to come back. And they do. So they drop trees. They use trees against them, much like, some 15 years later when, in Return of the Jedi, when the teddy bears defeated the Empire. Yeah. So Tonga's upset, but she's always upset. But our Bucky and Polly cheer. But she finds someone in there, and it's Uncle Pompous who calls her Mary. But she's like, "I'm not Mary. My name's Tonga." Fortunately, one of the hippos, Boss Hippo, Tusker, Clunker, who knows, goes and tells. See, the hippo's a hero this time. Oh, yeah. Tells Kimba and Roger that Uncle Pompous has been captured, so off he goes, a la Tarzan. And there Methuselah shows up again and warns Kimba that you need to be ready to fight. Someday Roger's not going to be here. Dun dun dun. It's called foreshadowing, right, kids? So Kimba gets them all organized. Uncle Pompous is yelling about it and then just walks out of the cave, or the cage, pardon me. And then this trick here, where he walks around the frame, he goes from side to side, upper to bottom, repeated from the Amazing Three. There's an episode where Zero the Duck, or whatever he's called, I don't remember his English name, but does the exact same gag. It's just in color, but over here in the States, no one, hardly anyone saw the Amazing Three or Wonder Three, which is sad because it's a fun little cartoon. And I wish that, there's some episodes are subtitled. There's a good 30 of them that are out and about. If you out oot and about, if you know where to find them. Roger is not wearing shoes this time. He loses shoes and gains shoes throughout the episode. Uncle Pompous is tired. And they get captured again. This is how the second in command says how they met Tonga, because she bonked a rock off Cassius's head. Right there. Good aim there. So the original guy adopted her, but Roger has a flute. Shouldn't Mary be playing the flute? And plays it, and she's all like, "What's that odd music?" So somewhere Mary's in there, so we know it's Mary. And there, yeah, I mean, she just has longer hair and is crazy go nuts. These are her animals, and she says, "If you help me, you'll get a treat," and throws out a leg of chicken, which I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the elephants would want it, but several of them might. So off they go. Kimba looks a lot like Mickey Mouse there, doesn't he? There's your enemy. Go. Polly gets stepped on once again. And there's her new tanks, which look like dogs. I don't know, bulldogs maybe? Yeah, the rogue animals that are not in Kimba's kingdom round them up, but they don't really attack, except Polly runs into one of the cheetahs. The eyes like, oh, because they say, excuse me. It's a cute gag. Then suddenly it starts snowing, and you know what that means. The mammoth of the of Snowy Mountain is coming down. And almost steps on people, and like, oh, her animals are freezing because they're not used to snow like Kimba. And Kimba builds them a fire, but then they turn on Tonga. She gets hit in the head again. Kimba thanks the mammoth, who says, oh, I was just taking a stroll. And he's like, yeah, right. Not that young anymore. But after getting bonked on the head, Mary's personality her real personality's returned. She didn't like Kimba in the first place. But she's like, oh, let's go back. We'll go back to civilization because she needs attention and probably both medical and psychological care. And the mammoth returns. The sun comes up, melts the snow because it's Africa. And they wave goodbye, except Mary's not waving. She's like, oh, get me out of here. Off they go. And there you go. That's it. So I think that's it. We don't see Roger again for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 7 episodes left. We will have 8 episodes due to the surprise at the end. But my fellow agents, here we go. That's our last. That's the episode for today. Just remember, I still need to fix that. If you find yourself in Africa and it starts snowing, get that camera ready have your phone ready because a mammoth is about to appear. Until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off.
Kimba, 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 Kimba. Who lives down in deepest, darkest Africa? Who's the one who brought the jungle fame? Who's the king of animals in Africa? Kimba the White Lion is his name. When we get in trouble and we're in a fight, who's the one who just won't turn and run?